behind our anchorage here, Vero Beach, and this worked out really good. So we're about ready to go. On the Intracoastal, we got a tug and barge coming up. Here it's in the 50s, 56. It was 70 in the cabin with, we don't have any heat, but we do have the stove, of course. We're going through the second span here at Vero Beach. Looks like we got 65 feet today. Now, on this northern span, you hook in right behind here. There's an anchorage on up, but as I said before, my experience in going through the the standard book anchorages is by the time I get up there, here's your bridge, here's your little anchorage. By the time I get up there late at night, there's already 6, 8, 10, 12 boats in it. And now I'm trying to find an anchorage in the dark, that I should have been able to pick out by myself anyway. So that's why we kind of do our own thing. We got the barge that passed us earlier. It's if you look close, you can see it up ahead, turning the corner. That's the opposite side. We're leaving Vero. When we brought the boat home in 2009, I put this airhead tow harness on, and it's a harness that I bought back in the Sea Dory days. And it's been, we've got thousands of miles of travel on the boat. And if you're going to tow a dinghy, I couldn't recommend this more highly. I mean, it keeps the thing centered. And it's absolutely the way to do it. And he's like us, he's got his jerry cans. Connie has radioed him and give him a slow pass if he wanted, and he's radioed back to just keep it coming. And we're swung out wide. He swung to the far side. And look at our wake hitting him as we're going by. We've gone to the extreme port side of the channel. Here's his position, here's ours. See, it's no problem. Now, these big sailboats and trawlers, when you go by close, creating a big wake from behind and roll them, you're rolling somebody's house. All the contents, everything. And the effect is of going through an earthquake. So that's why we get so upset over the wakes. He swung back in behind us. The channel's kind of tight here. But we managed to do it. And he's a big boat himself. Not creating much wake at all. We're both doing about 6.5 miles an hour. Anger management. Now we've radioed, asked if we could take him on his port side. He's giving us the affirmative, so we're going past. Told him our speed would be 7 knots. 7.5 miles an hour. You guys going to Jacksonville?
Yes, sir. It's a slow process, but yes.
He's going to Green Cove Springs, near where we bought our boat at Port Orange, or Orange Park, excuse me. Now, you see how these barges are strapped together? You might not think it, but they are very, very susceptible to wake, because they start flipping and flopping around, and I tell you what, they can have a real problem. And what he's got, that's the business end of a cutter head. That's the cutter, and this is a dredge barge. And as that cuts, he's pumping water in to keep the cutter clear, and then it's sucking it up on the big tubes coming up and taking that material up. Now you see he's doing 6.5 knots, and as big as he is, hardly throwing any wake at all at that speed. Did that just right, Ms. Mattson. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
They're doing the same thing we just did. And we're coming around Green to 83, and we got the bridge at Wabasso, Florida. They're coming right on around. They've asked for a pass. We've chopped our throttle a little bit. They're coming right on around. Easy peasy, nice and easy. And look at that, look where they're going. And we're all going to Maryland, I guess. And we're opposite Sebastian Inlet. That's a very dangerous inlet. I went out once in my life, and I'll never make the mistake of doing that again. Now, it's not an official navigable piece of waterway. Now, ahead of us, if you look real careful, you see all those sails, but we're all headed northbound. They're all going home. It's that time of year. We're just marching right on up the Indian River here. Coming into Melbourne, you have the super bridges all the way up through Cocoa, Titusville. And Boat US has got one on the hook. Not the kind of day we want. And we got the Highway 192 bridge in Melbourne. Got some construction going on. We're gonna head right on up to U Galley. Got 65 feet. And you got a couple of dolphin in here fishing. He caught one there right in front of you. In commemoration of the MIschief's final voyage, a moment of silence while NASA launches the commemorative Roman candle. There it goes. Actually, this is an Atlas V rocket designed in the 1950s by the World War II generation. Werner von Braun, he was the head of operations at the time. He'd been one of the German V2 rocket scientists. They're launching a spy satellite. Past this second bridge here at U Galley, there's a little point of land over here called Dragon Point. And you see that sailboat in there? Well, there's sailboats in behind That's a little anchorage they use quite frequently going up and down the Intracoastal. And it's a good one. Now tonight the winds are forecast to be right from this direction, from the east. And we're gonna head up to the next bridge and take a little pocket in there, a little our own creation, and see how that works out. I need a causeway going into Cocoa Beach. State Road 404. There's your footage. We had thought we would anchor right back in this pocket here behind the Anita Point Bridge, but they got some barge traffic, they got some things going on, so we're going to go halfway up to Cocoa. Cocoa's kind of a stretch for us at this point. You know, we're making 6.8 miles an hour, so it's we're going to come up right about halfway. Here's where we are right now. We're going to come hook back in here into this pocket. That would have been a good plan, but we're just going to head straight on up. And up here at mile 904, let me flip the page. I don't want to confuse you now. We're at 904, past Honeymoon Lake, with a east wind. Here's our lines, east-west, which is forecast for tonight. We can get right in close to this shore, right in here. And that's where we're going to hang out on the hook. We get in here as close as we can, drop the hook. Got plenty of swing room. And I don't want to go right here because I've got open water essentially in this Honeymoon Lake, so that would be a poor choice. But right on up in here, we got all land for protection. And it's relatively high, so we should have a good sleep in there. And that'll be right about in that area right there. Guy on that Hobie, he's pretty talented with that thing. Alright, we just come right in, drop the hook. That's the Anita Bridge to our south. This is our sight picture coming up. It's like a sheet of glass right there close to shore. We're just out of it. So looks good. And we're in a protected place, so we're frying some chicken. Connie ran a restaurant at Tupper Lake, New York. And so tonight we're having MIschief hot wings. Well, today we were on the water 7.8 hours and we covered 42 miles. Sunset from Cocoa.